Welcome to another edition of DX Engineering Videos. We're here today at the Crown Plaza in downtown Dayton, just before the Dayton Hamvention. This is during Contest University, which is in its 11th year. And today we have a special guest. It's Ramón, XE1KK. Hello, Ramón.
Hello, how are you? It's good to be here.
Well, it's great to see you.
Another year to be here.
Another year. And Ramón, how did you get started in ham radio?
Well, that was some time ago. My uncle, now Bill, XE1 Zulu Whiskey at the present, then XE1 America Whiskey, had, of course, a ham radio station at my grandparents'. So I remember since I was a kid, I was able to see him operate, has his antenna, move his big radio BFO for receiving. It was a homemade transmitter. And that's how it all started. However, years later, I got a part of walkie-talkies on one Christmas, years after that. And one day I was hearing American stations there, the people speaking in English. I was down in Mexico, so there were a lot of kind of theories about what was that. And then my uncle said, no, look what we're gonna do. So he unplugged the antenna of the handheld walkie-talkie, 27 megahertz, and somehow put it with his Yagi, and he made a contact with the U.S. and on CB, and I was shocked. It was my radio, so my radio can really talk very far. So at that moment, I start feeling that. You know that feeling, no?
Yes.
It's like, wow, this is exciting. So then I realized, and I thanks to him, I went to Federación Mexicana de Radioaficionados, the equivalent of ARRL in Mexico, the IRU member society, and I asked how I'm going to be able to get a license. So finally, after some struggle, I was able to get it. That was a long time ago, in 1978. And I have been a radio amateur ever since, and has been a very important part of my life. I have enjoyed it very much, meeting people and making friends all over the world, not only on the radio, but now having the chance, many of them, to meet in person.
Yes. And so, what is amateur radio like today in Mexico?
Amateur radio in Mexico today, it's a bit struggling because of the current regulations that we have. In many countries, the radio regulators have switched its position of being a central administration to become an entity looking for a profit. Mm-hmm. Therefore, we have moved and stay in the same category of other profit-making entities in chasing for the spectrum. That does not affect us in the bands that we have, but it affects us in the way they treat us. They change the way they see us. We are not getting any permit anymore or a license anymore. We get a special contract that we have, and that contract is something that you have to deal yourself with the Mexican government. You have to sign it, you have to do it in person, so it's a lot of red tape, and we are trying to work on that. That also makes some other additional problems. That is that according to our constitution and our federal law, there are some activities that are exclusive, the exclusive participation for Mexican nationals. Mm-hmm. Therefore, there are no reciprocal licenses at the present for a foreigner, not even foreigners living in Mexico, or people who have been living in Mexico for long, but are not Mexican citizens. And that and the red tape has made the amateur radio community in Mexico reduce itself a lot. We are trying not to lose so many people, and especially continue to gain younger people. That is the main challenge that we all have, to bring the newer generations to amateur radio to enjoy and learn as much as we have had in the past.
Yes. Now, you are involved with the IARU.
Yes, I am. I am involved right now. I am currently the IARU Region 2 Vice President. Region 2 covers the Americas.
And so what are your responsibilities as vice chairman for that?
Well, currently what we do is try to, as the main goal, to defend our bands, and the amateur radio service and the amateur radio satellite service, and of course that's always challenging with everybody trying to see where more spectrum is. We work in the region 2, we work very close to SciTel at the American region and the Caribbean Telecommunication Union, and therefore with these groups we then team up with IRU at world level to work with ITU in Geneva each 3 years during the World Radio Conferences. Recently we all had a new band. Not all the countries had it before, the 5 megahertz band, and of course that's a work of many individuals in different countries, and of course IRU in many of them. That's one. The other one is of course promoting amateur radio within the youth, talking to the government about what the different governments about what amateur radio is, and trying to keep their legislations to modernize their legislation. Some countries you still need military clearance to obtain a license, and then they send it to the military, and 2 years later the military said, okay, you can give the license to this guy, and when he received the license, did I ask for this? I just forgot, it has been too long. So those kinds of things are the ones that we try to get. Some other countries like Aruba, for example, has an interesting thing. Aruba, every foreigner that go to Aruba can get a license very easy, but they have not been issued any local license for the past 12 years.
Wow.
So locals cannot get a Papa 4 license. Foreigners can obtain it on the spot. So some things kind of sometimes mix, and we have to go there and deal. Emergency communications is another very important part of our work, and of course promoting amateur radio and friendship at world level.
So you have another hobby. You like to run in marathons.
I like to, yes, I started a few years ago, and has helped me a lot to lose some kilos. And instead of being kilo, I'm going to be kilo soon only.
And so how many marathons do you run?
I have run 15 marathons in the past 3 years.
Wow. My gosh. That's amazing. And you just recently were in the Boston Marathon and the London Marathon.
And the London Marathon, yes. I booked for one, and then I booked for London, and then I was able to get into Boston, which is not easy. And but then I realized there were only 6 days in between. And people said, just leave one for next year. And I said, no, I'm going to try it. So, and I did, and it went good.
That's great. Well, Ramon, thanks very much for stopping in and talking to us today, and we hope to hear you on the bands. And thanks to all of you for watching another edition of DX Engineering Videos.
Thank you, Tim.